Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in the video today we will learn about a very important component in Langchain which is called chains. So in simple definition, chain is something which helps us to create multiple sequence in Langchain for creating any model. So this is a definition which was in the documents of Langchain where it mentions chains are easily reusable components linked together, and it mentions that chain usually encode a sequence of calls to components like model, document retrieval, other chains, and other other sequential events. It provides a simple interface to this sequence. So in a very simple terms, what change does is like uh, whenever we have to feed any questions to LLM model. So LLM model after after the LLM model creates an output, that output is often not in a form of uh, easy comprehensible output. So we have to pass it through output parser. Now, once it goes to output parser, then again in some of the cases it again has to go to second LLM model, and then we get the final output depending on what kind of output we are looking for. So the sequence of tasks are usually very complicated if we do it as a standalone. So for that purpose, to simplify everything, we have chains in LangChain. So that makes a task easier. So just to give you an example, just uh, just imagine that we have to we have to write we have to write an essay on maybe a topic called let's say cricket, right? So if we ask if we use OpenAI to create maybe 500 words essay on cricket, right? So it can create that 500 words essay using the first LLM model, and in the second task maybe we can ask to summarize these 500 words into just six five sentences, right? So what would happen is the sequence of the task would be something like this, where the first LLM model would help us to create this essay for 500 words, and once it creates, it will go through output parser, and then again it will go through the second LLM model to create a five sentence, right? So this would be the example where chains in LangChain comes very handy. So let's go through an example today. Today we will go through a very simple example just to understand how exactly these chains work. So in the example, so in this we already have requirements.txt where we have got our .env to get the OpenAI's keys and all the other packages which we would be using, like Langchain core, Langchain community. And we have created this .env file with all three API, OpenAI, Hugging Face Hub, and Gemini. So in simple chain, we will just start writing the code. So basically, we will start with don't need Copilot. Yeah. So let's just start with first we will get the OpenAI, chat OpenAI using Langchain OpenAI. We'll import chat OpenAI. After that, once we have the chat, we need to get the uh, prompt template. So for that, we have to get from core templates, Langchain core prompts. We will import. Let me see. I think we do we have this Langchain core? Yeah, we have Langchain core. Then why are we getting this error? So from core, we have to get prompt template, right? Let me try installing again if that is an option, because we should not get this underlined thing, like it implies that somehow that package is not working or it's not installed correctly. So let me try installing it, Langchain core prompts. So if it works, then it will know. That is an error here. But Langchain core, right? Let me try only Langchain core. So while installing, I think we get this Langchain dash core, but when we are importing anything, usually it is Langchain underscore core. So that should be fine. Yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead with the output. So once we have this Langchain code, then we will get output parser. So that is again Langchain core dot output parsers. From where we have to import a string output parser, which would be str. Why are we getting this error? I think we have to. I think we have, or we already have Langchain core in our system, but for some reason it is not working. Let me try this. So just Langchain core and see if it works like that. Okay, this is a separate thing. Let me try this. If so, ideally it should not throw any error. If we write Python simple chain dot py. So if it shows some error, then it means cannot import name prompt template from Langchain. Okay, so let's try Langchain core underscore prompts, and let's try output. It should not be capital. Output parsers. Yeah, this is fine, but yeah, let's run it again. Cannot import. Okay, let's try simply this again. Okay, so there is an issue with prompt templates. Is it like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I was missing out on this. So instead of underscore prompts, we have to use dot prompts. So now this should be fine. Let's go ahead with, so now we have all the packages which we need from Langchain. Now let's start with the .env, from where we will be fetching OpenAI key, right? So it will be import dot load .env. We simply need to initiate this load, so that whatever we will be using, Gemini or OpenAI, it will directly fetch the keys from this particular .env file. So in .env we already have mentioned OpenAI API key. So by loading this load .env, we are simply connecting it in any code which will run for OpenAI API key. It will directly fetch from that particular file. So let's define our prompt using prompt template. So basically our template would be, what we want to do is, let's start with something simple, like let's write generate maybe five interesting facts about any topic, right? So we'll keep topic as variable so that we can further make any change in the topic we want. And the input variables would be the topic, right? So this is how we defined our prompt. So once we have the prompt, we have simply have to mention which model we plan to use. So for that reason, we will be having chat OpenAI as we have already imported chat OpenAI. We can use any model depending on what we want. A Gemini or other model should also be fine. So for parser, we already have string output parser, right? So now what we have done here is we have defined our template, uh, prompt template. We have defined our model, which will be chat OpenAI and the parser. So once the output would come, parser would ensure that the output is um, in line with what we want. It should be a string, right? So once we have these components, we will create the chain. Now, chain in this example, we would be going through a very simple chain, but as we will go ahead, we will see there are more complex chains out there. For example, there would be conditional chains, parallel chain, where a multiple sequence would be carrying out parallelly. But in this example, we would keep it very simple, and it will be a simple chain. So what it will do is we just have to the way we have to define the sequence by uh, by just typing the name which we want. So first there will be prompt, it will go to model, and then it will go to, once the output is created, it will go to parser to create the output, right? So in that sequence only we will write it. So once we have the prompt, we simply need to um, we just have to use this straight this straight line, right? So first will be prompt, then will be model, and then again a straight line. For creating each sequence, we have to use this straight line and then parser, right? So this is how we create it, and once we have this, we can simply write output. Right, we have not defined output. So to define output, defining output, we can simply write model. No, we can simply write chain, right? Topic, you have to define topic. Let's say topic is series friends, right? So let's try running this. I think this is should be something like this. One second, let me pause the video and look into there. Yeah. So once we create the chain, we have to invoke it for the output. So for invoking, we simply need to mention the topic here because that was the only input variables which we needed. So for that, we will simply write topic, and in topic we let's put friends, and let's save it and it again. Okay, my bad. This should not be equal to, it should be this. Yeah. Now it should be fine. Yeah, so it is supposed to create five interesting facts about this. Import str out parser, str out parser, str out parser. It should be output parser. Uh, yeah, I think it should be output parser. Sorry, this. So once we save it, now it should be able to create five interesting facts about any topic. Yeah, so that was the issue, right? I mean, we made two mistakes here. The first was that we, instead of string output parser, we imported a string out parser, which was causing the error. And second thing is like after creating chain, we have to create the output using chain dot invoke. And topic can be anything. We can try by let's try by writing cricket maybe, and let's see what five interesting aspects or facts it can give about cricket. Yeah, so these are the five things like cricket is believed to originate in England, 16th century, longest cricket match. So yeah, this is how it works. So it was a very simple chain. And one thing is like we can also see how exactly this chain is working using a graph. So there is a function called create graph. Basically, it uses print print ASCII. But before running this line of code, we need to make sure that this particular package, which is grandelf, it should be installed. So using grandelf, we are able to create this. So output, I will just hash the output for a while and just try to look into what kind of graph we can get. So let's try it again. So it will show like how what is the sequence in which yeah. So you see first it went to chat OpenAI, then the output of chat OpenAI went to string output parser, and then finally it delivers the output. So this was a very simple chain here. This is how it works, but in the parallel chain and in conditional chain, it becomes very handy to see how exactly this chain is working, how the different components are handling the inputs and outputs. So yeah, that was it for the video today. Thanks for watching. We plan to cover rest of the chain in upcoming videos. Thanks.